Have you been struggling to make consistent profits in the forex markets or not had enough time to analyze the markets and trade? At MMK, we have experienced and qualified traders who analyze the markets and send signals directly to your phone. We are highly selective traders and we provide 5 to 10 signals weekly and a minimum pip count of 1,000 pips monthly. Join the winning team and stop donating your money to brokers. Hi guys, welcome back. We're back with another video, and today we're going to be going through some markups that we sent this week in our VIP signal channel, and we also sent these markups in our free Telegram channel. If you haven't joined the group, or the channel rather, do find the link in the description below. If you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon to be the first to watch when we upload any new content. All right, so the first pair that we're going to look at is AUD NZD, and as you can see on AUD NZD, it was a very clear market structure for us, because as we can see at this area right here, last week we had a nice midweek reversal, right? And from as you can see, this midweek reversal happened on Tuesday, right? And we had a nice drop which broke structure, second day of drop, and as you can see, we had a nice flow on Friday, right? So this was 3 levels down, and we had the 50-200 crossover. So after a 50-200 crossover, we anticipate a reset on the 200 EMA. In this case, we had further confluence as we also had a nice order block around that area. So I wanted to see price react right here, right? So before we look at the EMAs, let us look at how this looked on a very clean chart, right? So in the daily time frame, we can see that the market was actually coming from a nice supply zone. As you can see, a nice supply zone right there. And as we go down to the 4 hour, this is what we can actually identify. So price had already made its move right at this supply zone. If we go down to the H1, this is what we had, right? And the area where we wanted to take this trade, remember, we had that first level of drop right there, right? And that was completed, right? So we're now focusing on this area. It was a nice order block, and that is where price was playing around. And as you can see, we had a nice drop from that area, right? So when we now combine this with BTMM and look at the proper timing, what we basically had in the 4 hour was we had a 50-13 crossover. So we expected a bounce off the 50 EMA, right? So as we go to the H1 time frame, remember the zone that we're interested in was this area, as you can see, and we anticipated the reset from this area, and that is exactly where we had a nice peak formation, right? As you can see, price has dropped and has given you a good move to the downside. So when it comes to timing, you can see that this is basically what happened. As we were at this area as our point of interest into the Asian session, we had relatively some equal highs right there, and into London session we had a nice trap move above the area, definitely hitting some stops from that area. And as you can see, we had a nice drop actually during Asian session. So this was a nice trade that we had, right? And after that, we also looked at Euro CHF, right, which was also an amazing trade. In the H4, we had a peak formation on the 800 EMA, a nice drop, right? And as you can see, after a 1350 crossover, we had broken structure. So this was a nice flow, and we had a nice order block. As you can see, nice flow of price, right? Breaking further structure. So we wanted to see the market get back to this area. Why? Because of this 50-13 crossover, we expected a bounce off this 50 EMA in the H4 time frame, right? So we can also look at this from a clean chart, right? So if we go to the 4 hour to make it simple, we can even look at the daily also to get a clear picture of where price was coming from. So price was reacting to this area right here, right? And from that area, as you can see, if you go to the H4 time frame, price was still pushing down. So the extreme right here, which is pretty much still fresh, right, not really touched, as you can see, it's down here. And as price is moving from this area, we can see level 1, it's a nice impulsive move down. Second one, right? So when we saw this, the price was actually here, right? Price was still down here, and we wanted to see price get back to this order block, right, which was a nice order block actually, right? And as you can see, in the H1 time frame, this is how it played out, giving you a nice information on that order block, and price has been dropping to the downside, right? So we also actually took that trade, right? We executed that trade, as you can see. Also posted it in our free Telegram channel, which was a nice trade, right? So when we look at how you would have timed this, as you can see, played out very wonderfully. Actually interacted with that 50 EMA in the H4, right? So if you go to the H1, that 50 EMA in the H4 is actually the 200 EMA in your H1, right? So when it comes to timing, this is what we had, right? We had a nice supply level, this area, right? When you hit that supply level, as you can see, what price did, price played around Asian session, traps the other side, as you can see, stops were hit, right? And then price then made its move to the upside to that supply level, where we also had the 800 EMA inside. And as you can see, this was an amazing trade, right now it's floating over 77 pips, right? And we also looked at the USD JPY, same bars, right? And our price is coming from your from your supply level. We've got the first level of drop, second 1350 crossover, and we wanted to see a move on that 50 EMA, right? So we wanted to see a break of structure and price actually coming back to that area. And also looking at that from a clean chart, this is what we actually had, right? From the H4, we had a nice break of structure, right? And the area responsible for that was this one. Not really a clean, it's way different from the Euro CHF. It was a nice clean drop, as you can see how price left the area. So this one not really that clean, but it managed to break structure, as you can see. So price is actually back at our point of interest right now. So we are actually short on this one, right? So we want to see price then make its move to the downside, right? So yes, guys, if you haven't joined our free Telegram channel, do find the link in the description below, right, for more of these updates and, you know, trade ideas. So this is what we had. Now prices, we have prices back at the area, now interacting with that 50 EMA in the H4 time frame. That means price is actually interacting with the 200 EMA in your H1. So this is actually a peak formation structure. As you can see, we had a 5200 crossover, so this would be an anticipated reset. So would love to see price make its way to the downside. So we've just executed this trade. We'll definitely see how that goes, and we'll definitely give you more updates on that. All right, guys, hope you learned something from this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so, for more updates and trade ideas.